Hey, welcome to the All That I Am podcast. Are you ready to be uplifted? Are you ready to be encouraged, inspired, and empowered? Ladies, you're in the right place. You are unstoppable. Grace is our secret sauce. And guess what? You can do it all, balancing ministry, marriage, motherhood, marketplace, all at the same time with strategy and with the grace of God. Class is in session. Let's go. Welcome back to the All That I Am podcast. It's your girl, Lady Vivian Jacobs. I am your podcast host. I've missed you all. It has been a while. I've been busy. Life has been busy. Work has been busy, ministry has been busy, family has been busy, but it's been a good busy. So I'm excited to be here with you all tonight on Friday. And y'all know this is my favorite day of the week. Why? Because it's the last day of the work week for me. So I'm excited about today. Y'all know how we do. Grab your blankets, your notebook, your pens, and let's get ready to chat. And the reason we have our notebooks and our pens is so that you can take notes, you can come back to it, and you can apply it to your life. And then also, if you're not catching us live right now, you can always go back and catch the replay. If you tuning in for a minute, you get pulled away, that's all right. Come back and catch the replay. It's being recorded. It will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and also on Apple Podcasts. So if you haven't already, do me a favor, subscribe. If you're listening right now and you just click the link to listen and you haven't subscribed yet, shame on you. Go right now while you're listening and subscribe. But do me a favor while you all are doing that. Why don't you drop in the comment section? I see y'all in here. Drop in the comment section where you listening from. Where is our audience from on tonight? Our live audience. Where are you listening from? And if you have some questions, I want you to feel free to drop that in the chat as well. We're going to try and tackle some of the questions. And you can put those in the chat at any time. Admin will make note of that so that we can come back and answer maybe one or two questions. So where are you all listening from? I got Chicago in the house. Okay. Where else? Where else are California? Cali's in the house. What part of California are you from? We got Lafayette, Indiana, Benton Harbor, Michigan. We got a lot of Chicago, Indianapolis is in the house. My second home. Where else are you all listening from? Come on, drop it in the comment section. I'm looking down because my phone is charging. It's always almost dead. Don't worry about that. But I'm charging it now so that Tampa Bay, Florida is in the house. Hey, Maya, Indy is in the house. Callie's in the house. Virginia. All right, we got all y'all in the house. So we are excited. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to this podcast. I believe that it is going to be a blessing. Tonight, we are going to have, as always, a very real, relevant, and transparent conversation. Okay. And I say that because that's what helps people. And that's what this podcast is all about, to help. So we are ready. I have an amazing guest that is going to join me on tonight. And her name is Pastor Joy McMullen, who also happens to be a first lady. An amazing woman of God. She's going to help me dive into our topic on tonight, which is the blessing and curse of being chosen. So, what really brought about this topic for this podcast on tonight was there was a post that I had made on Facebook, and it really resonated with so many people that I didn't even imagine. It just really goes to show you never know what's a pain spot for people or what people are going through. And so it was simply a post, basically what we're going to be talking about tonight, the blessing and curse of being chosen. chosen. So it was a prayer from me to those that are chosen. Of course, I'm speaking from a first lady perspective, but this can be applied to any leader in church, and also a leader in the marketplace. As most of you all know, I am a nurse manager. I am a leader in the marketplace. So most of everything, if not all of everything that I'm talking about, you find it in the marketplace as well. So it's not just in ministry, but it is also in the marketplace. There is, and I don't mean an actual curse, right? When I say curse, but just kind of the downside that most people don't see, and most people don't know or experience it if they haven't been in your shoes. Most of the time, people only see, the glitz, the glam, the fame, whatever, the happiness, the love that people show you, for those that are in leadership in any position, and then also those that are first ladies, but they don't see the other side that comes along with it. So we're going to jump into this topic. I want my guests to join me now. Pastor Joy McMullen, and
Hey,
she's going to help us dissect this topic, and we're going to take our time. She's going to help us dissect this topic because we want somebody to be helped on tonight. So I'm going to lend the floor over to Pastor Joy McMullen, my sis in the Lord, and I'm just excited that she's here to share with us on tonight. Just kind of introduce yourself to the people, and then we'll jump right into our topic.
well, good evening. I'm just so elated to be here in this moment to share this opportunity with you, Lady B. Um, I'm a child of the King. Listen, all that other stuff is just stuff, right?
Yep.
I'm a wife. I'm a mother. Um, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur, mentor. Listen, I'm an esthetician. I'm a baker. There's so
I
many
love
things,
it.
so many hats.
Yeah.
But the greatest one of all is just being chosen. How about that?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Multifaceted woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. You wear so many hats, so many hats. And I just believe that even in the hats that you wear and in the hats that I wear, what helps to keep me going, and I'm sure what helps to keep you going as well, is knowing that we've been graced to handle it all. We've been
That's
graced to wear every single hat that the Lord has entrusted to us. We've been graced to carry the assignment. But with the assignment of being chosen, there are responsibilities that come along with being chosen. And so I want to, because even as I said, we see the bonuses and the benefits, of those being chosen. And like I said, this is not just the first ladies, but that is a huge part of it, as far as my perspective is concerned, and also speaking from the leadership perspective in the marketplace, responsibilities that come along with that. So, with the responsibility of being chosen, the bonuses and the benefits, begin to talk to us a little bit about some of those hard responsibilities that come along with being chosen.
Listen, like you said, there's so many blessings in being in leadership. There's so many benefits as being a leader, and that people aspire to the things that you do. But the hard thing about being in those roles is the cost that comes with it. There's so many things that you suffer. There's so many things that you lose. There's so many nights that you can't get to sleep. There's tears that you cry. There's prayers that you pray that you feel like have not been answered or heard. There's moments that you feel like God is answering everybody else, but He's silent for you. Uh, there's hard moments of when you love people that lie on you. There's hard moments of when you have to help people who've hurt you. There's hard moments in leading, and the thing that is a blessing is also the thing that breaks you.
Yeah. Mm.
The thing that has that you feel like some days you got it right, and then some days it feels like I'm missing it. That's the hard thing, because there's no manual to this. There's no cookie cutter. There's no step by step. There's no tutorial that can prepare you for the type of scrutiny, the
Yeah.
type of life that is put on under a microscope.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can prepare you for that platform. So most
Yeah.
most sometimes it's the hard thing of showing up.
In my post, that was one of the things that I mentioned, is to don't stop showing up. Don't stop
Yeah,
showing up, and don't stop using your voice, because
yeah,
that's nothing but a trick and a plan of the enemy
oh
to
yeah.
cause us as leaders to not show up.
Mhm.
Because I mean, and sometimes we feel like we have a reason and we have a right. But I know for me, one of the things, one of the responsibilities, there are several, of course, and all that you mentioned, but just knowing that, and even as you said it's like it's really it's like a double-edged sword,
Yeah,
because the thing that is a blessing to you and a blessing to others can
yeah,
sometimes hurt you.
yeah.
It can
It's
sometimes
about
on
and
one end.
be a burden. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely is, you know. So I know for me, I have to remind myself, because at the end of the day, we're still human. Yes, we're saved, we're filled with the Holy Ghost, you know, but at the end of the day, we are still human. And sometimes, as leaders, you want to lash out. I can even think about, I just had a situation on my job today. But you have to model the leader that you want other people to follow, that you
Abs-
want other people to strive to be. Um,
Yep.
so I mean, it was a situation. I work in an outpatient area. I won't go into detail, but I work with surgeons, and they can have some strong personalities,
Oh
just
yeah.
like in church
Oh
can
yeah.
have strong personalities. So, I mean, you see it, it's in a different arena, but it can still be the same type of spirit.
Yes.
Yes,
Because that's what it is.
that's what it
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, you
Man,
know. So listen,
I want to wrestle, but I have to wrestle in the spirit. Praise God.
yes. So we have to remind ourselves that we're held to a higher standard
Absolutely.
and have a greater responsibility, because as all Christians, we should know that we are living epistles. We should be a reflection of God. But
Yeah.
sometimes in our human moment,
Mhm. Yes.
you know, that flesh wants to rise up.
Absolutely.
But you know, it really takes maturity. It really takes, you know, spending time in the presence of the Lord, and denying that flesh, you know, and overcoming what you want to say, what you want to do, how you want to respond, you know, and really I'm saying,
Yeah.
because it can be difficult. It can be difficult to respond and to still model what a leader should look like, what a Christian should look like. But as leaders, I do realize and understand that we are held to a higher standard.
Yes.
So that's one of the things I have to remind myself, because I am human at the end of the day. And the flesh does want to rise sometimes, but I am held to a higher standard.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like what Michelle Obama's always says. When they go low, you go high.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because in moments you want to let that flesh rise up, and you want to be human, and you want to be in that moment.
Yeah.
But then you have to realize that I'm held number one to a higher calling.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
to a higher responsibility, but I have more to lose than just
That's it.
than
Bingo.
just the commoner. I have more to lose than you. So we're
Yeah.
not even on the same playing field.
Yeah, yeah. That is so true. That
Yeah.
is so true. And when you look at it, when you put things into perspective, and sometimes when our emotions are at an all-time high, we have to literally take a step back and
Yes.
put things into perspective, and weigh. I'm gonna give them this, or I'm gonna risk losing this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's like, which one is more important to you? It's time out for saying that's just the way I respond. This is who I am. You ain't gonna just, you know how we want to give it.
Man,
Because I'm from the south side of Chicago.
oh
And,
man. Come
okay,
on, Doc, if you bug.
listen. So, but the Lord has brought
Yeah.
me a mighty long way. I will
Yeah.
say that. The Lord has brought me a mighty long way. And it can be difficult sometimes, but I thank God for growth. I thank
Yeah.
God for growth. Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's another hard thing is that you
Yeah.
have to level up publicly,
Yeah.
even though you have those losses privately.
Hmm.
In those moments where you're at home and you like, if I could, ooh, if I, ooh, but I'm leveling up.
Yes.
I'm leveling up in a way uh, that honors God, that
Yeah.
pleases God. And so where people don't understand the fights that you have in prayer, the fights that
Yeah.
you have at home just to show up.
Hmm.
Because they can come in and they can say what they want to and just roll out, but
Yeah.
whew, yeah.
Yes, Lord. Yes, yes, yes. So, with knowing all of the responsibilities that come along with being chosen,
Mhm.
being a leader in whatever aspect you're a leader in, how do you hold yourself accountable or responsible to the call? Like, what do you do to hold yourself accountable?
So for me, humility. I make sure that I operate in the most sincere place of humility. I understand that I didn't get here because of any goodness of my own. Because if there was a film that was rolled and they rolled that great beautiful beam footage, wouldn't nobody want to hear nothing I had to say? Wouldn't nobody want to even be involved in my presence? But I operate in humility and understanding that God could use anybody.
Oh,
But
yes.
but the fact that he knew me before he formed me in my mother's womb, and he still called me, that he still wants to use me as a mess that I've been, and he knew all of that, and he still wants to use me. Like, so I always keep that in the forefront of my mind, that there's so many other people that God can use. And so I use humility as my way of keeping myself uh, responsible to the call, responsible to the people who are not going to pick up a Bible,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
who are going to literally model their lives after what they see that I do and after what they see that I say. I try to make sure that my lips match my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
I try to make sure that I show up authentically me. I can't be anybody else because I tell people I tell people this all the time. I can't be phony because there will be a moment that I'll forget to be fake.
The realness will come out.
Oh my God. And y'all will be real disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to make sure that I show up my authentic self everywhere that I go, to
Yeah.
make sure that I don't have to play a role. I don't have to be one way here or one way anywhere else. I show up just the way I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so good. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, especially with the humility piece.
Yeah.
Because that is the way to go.
Man.
And that is truly the way to go because even as you said, It really is a privilege to be chosen. It's a blessing
It
to
is.
be used by God. God could have chose anybody else. So, and I oftentimes remind myself of this, is that it's a privilege that God has chosen me.
Amen.
So how dare I walk around with my nose up? And the Bible says that pride comes before a fall.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm not interested in falling. So I'm not interested in being prideful. And so that's why I think that for one of the things for me that helps me to remain accountable and responsible with the assignment is also having accountability partners.
That's good. Yeah.
I have people in my life, people in my circle that, I can talk to, that can correct me, that can, get me together or give me the encouragement that I need, because sometimes we need that. We need people that we can be vulnerable with. I'm jumping ahead of myself,
Yeah.
but I definitely see a need in people in leadership to have accountability partners. It definitely will prove itself to be beneficial, because I don't know what I would do without. Listen, I call them. We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
We have to deal with this. I need you to hear me out on this. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Right.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me I need to know your honest thought. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not gonna get mad at you. And they
Yeah.
already know that, because at the end of the day, I want to hear the truth. At the end of the day, I want to get it right. I don't
Yeah.
want to be walking around as wrong as two left shoes and
Yeah.
don't even know it. So I think it's important to have those accountability partners, and then also realizing and understanding that it is a privilege to be chosen. Thank
Man.
you, Lord, for choosing me. And since you chose me, I know that you've given me the power, the strength, and the grace to handle and deal with everything that comes my way. Every assignment, every
Yeah.
trial, every tribulation, every demon, every spirit, because
What?
they are around, they are present.
Yeah.
So I have, the faith and the confidence to know that if you called me to it, you've given me everything that I need to handle it and to deal with it.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah.
God. I just preached a message like last Sunday, maybe a Sunday ago, talking about I'm graced for this.
I love it.
Whatever your this is, because my this ain't your this,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
whatever God has called us to, He's given us the grace for it. He's given us the fortitude to finish. Sometimes we don't feel like we have the strength to finish, but He's given us that strength to finish. He's given us a measure. All of us have a measure to continue to make it through the fight, through the tribulation, whatever we're dealing with, the suffering. He's given us a measure to get through it. We
Yeah.
got to we got to tap into that.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. He definitely has, and it's our responsibility to know that, number one, and then, like you said, to tap into that,
Yeah.
because it's definitely needed in this journey and on this walk. But tell us, what's one lesson that you've learned while leading and serving in your capacity? What's like one or two main lessons that you feel like you had learned, whether it be early on or something that you may have just learned and it has proven to be really beneficial to you during this time?
So I became a first lady at the age of 26. So I was young in ministry, thinking that I am superwoman and could do it all and could be there for everybody and show up for everybody. But what I've learned is I have to show up for myself.
Yeah.
The way I pour, the way I give, the way I go, you don't get that in return. The same pour that you pour, the same prayer that you pray, you don't get that back. And so what I realized is I've got to show up for me. I As much as I go for everybody else, I got to keep that same energy for me. And there's been times that I've been depleted because I have gone so hard for everybody else and I've shown up so much for everybody else. And then when I'm sitting here on E, I can't find nobody.
Yeah.
So show up for yourself.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I've learned, and this is this came hard. This came as a hard lesson. Learn how to be friendly without making friends.
Mm,
This,
that's good.
oh my God, because
That's good.
I'm an extrovert. I meet strangers in the airport, at the gas station. Like I enjoy interacting with people. Like I love people. And sometimes it has become evident for me that my greatest strength is my greatest liability. Like
Yeah.
I love people to a fault,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to bring everybody in, and I want to be family and sis, and I want to, and I love to cook, so I want to bring everybody to the house. But what I've learned is them is the first people
Yeah.
that will jump ship in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
they are the first people that you look up and be like, we broke bread together, really? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
ah. So, oh my God, you can, once you become common, then you no longer lead them.
Yeah.
They no longer have respect. Now they're calling you Vivian, and they calling
Mhm.
the Bishop Brandon, and no. Do you call your mama by her first name? It ain't that I'm asking you, whether you're older or younger than I am. All I'm asking is that you understand the position that I hold in your life,
Yeah.
that you honor the position that I hold. And I think when you become friends with people, they no longer view you or honor you in the role that you play in their lives.
Yeah. That is so true. And I think that's something that most leaders, like in the beginning, you make a mistake with that.
Yep.
But as you, get a little seasoned, as you mature and go further along in ministry, you
Yep.
kind of learn that along the way. For the most part, I'm not going to say everybody, but for the most part, because you see what it can do. And one of the things that I've learned, and I'm gonna give you a specific example. One of the things I've learned is, well, number one, you can't in this walk in leadership, period, you cannot wear your feelings on your sleeves.
Man, you better have crocodile skin.
You cannot, it will toughen you up. I'm gonna tell you, I used to be a crier, and I'm still, I still will cry. But I gotta be real mad to cry nowadays. But little things would hurt when I was younger, my mother would yell at me, it would hurt my feelings and I would cry. She didn't
Yeah.
even have to whoop me. It was the
Yeah.
fact that she was yelling at me and it would make me cry. So one of the things that toughened me up in leadership in marketplace and in ministry was not wearing my feelings on my sleeve. And really you got to kind of wear people like loose clothes. And I
Yes.
don't mean that in like a derogatory way. I don't mean that in a way where you don't love people,
That's
because you do. That's a huge part of leadership. But even as you said, learning to be friendly, but not necessarily friends with everybody.
yeah.
Because you will get your feelings hurt. You will, when you have certain expectations of people, from people, and they don't meet those expectations, or you expected this one to love you or to be with you, and maybe they aren't, and maybe it hurt, and
Oh
you got to get over it. You got to get over it quick so you can keep moving, and you're not mourning, but allowing yourself to also feel too. Because
yeah.
I think a lot of times we get, in a place where you know, we can't allow ourselves to feel, and then we become numb.
Yeah. Yeah.
We become numb,
Yes.
in ministry. And I never want to be at a place where I am numb in ministry, where nothing matters because I've been hurt, and now it's just like, whatever, but I refuse to allow myself to get in that place. And one of the things that I had to learn is that you don't change who you are. You still be that loving person that you are, even as you say, that friendly person that you are, that person that loves people, but you do have to sometimes in leadership change the access that people have to you.
That part.
Sometimes you have, and
Yeah.
it can be difficult. It can be hard, especially when people are used to being that close to you, but everybody can't handle being close to you.
Ooh, girl.
Everybody can't handle a front row seat in your life, and that's okay.
That
The
is right.
problem comes in is when they think they can and you let them know or you've shown them, and
Woo.
it's a problem. No, I'm not acting funny. I just can't allow you the same access in this season of my life that you had in the last season of my life because
Yeah.
you abused it. You didn't know what to do with it. So
Oh,
I would be a fool to continue to allow you to have the same access in my life. I still love you, but you
yeah.
cannot have the same access. You've already proven yourself to me.
You cannot handle
You
my
can't
humanity.
handle it. And everybody can't. And like
Oh,
I said, it's okay.
yeah.
It is quite all right. But
Yeah.
you have to be able to accept that, we have to stop trying to be more in people's lives than what we are supposed to be,
Ooh,
right?
everybody is not our assignment.
No,
Every,
no.
everybody is not our assignment. And I think that's what makes it so hard is because you want to help everybody.
Yeah.
But what you have to find out is that just like the pastor, he does not pastor everybody that's a member of their church.
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
there's some people that just come for the word, but they don't want no accountability.
Yeah.
And so with the same notion, I cannot be held to this expectation that I'm supposed to be this same person to everybody. That's not even realistic in my own household. I'm a different mother to
Yeah.
each of my children.
Yeah.
My oldest daughter, she has special needs. I
Hmm.
have I have our family is blended, so we have total of 6 children, and everybody requires a different me.
Yeah. That's so true. I got 5. That is
Yeah,
so true.
like you said, for you, your mother could yell and you cry. I have one that I can just look a certain way and they know how I'm what I'm
Yeah, that was me.
yeah. But then I got some that I got to hem up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's unfair. The expectation that people put on you in leadership that you should handle them a certain way or be a certain way. I'm gonna be me all day long.
Yeah.
And this is who you gonna get.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna pray for you, and then I'm gonna keep going.
Yes. You
Yeah.
got to. You got to. You do. You do. You have to. And I mean that in the most respectful way. You have to. You got to
Yeah.
keep going because life goes on, ministry goes on. So you have to. And then before we move on to the next question, I know for me, one of the main things that I've learned as well is to watch as well as pray.
Yes.
Watch as well as pray. And I'm going to tell you,
Why?
prayer is a game changer. It's not just something cliche that people say, but
Yes.
prayer is a game changer. Prayer will, if it don't change the situation, it will change you.
Me,
It
if
will
nothing
change
else.
you. And watch, you know what I'm saying? Because the Lord will show you things. The
Uh-huh.
Lord will show you things, and it's not always for you to say. Go
Yeah.
pray about it. Keep your mouth closed.
Come
It's
on.
not always for you to go run to your husband and tell him what the
Yep.
Lord has shown you, because guess what? The Lord is speaking to him too.
Yes.
The
Oh,
Lord is speaking to
God.
him too. The Lord will use you as his helpmate. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, as wives, we have to use discretion because we can't run to them with every single thing that we see. We have to be able to watch as well as pray, use discretion, use discernment, and use wisdom. But we have to be on our knees like never before. It
Yes.
definitely, that's what has helped me in this walk. What has it been? It's going on 14 years.
Oh,
14 years being married to my husband. He was already a pastor when I married him. He was already a pastor for about 3 years when I married him.
okay.
It's been going on 14 years. And that is one of the things that I can honestly say where I find peace, where I find solace, where I find joy, where I find my identity, where I find comfort and I can be vulnerable. So I've definitely learned the power of watching as well as praying.
Man, you have to use discernment. I
Yeah.
can I cannot run to my husband with every fear, every disappointment, every doubt, because just the same way that he carries the burden of this ministry, he'll carry that burden of me.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so there's some things that I just have to leave in prayer.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I've heard that people have said, and you want to go and vent to him and say, can you believe that such and such did this and blah blah. You know what? I'm not even going to add that to your plate.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in prayer. So that is so very important.
Mhm.
And us as wives to be that intercessor for our husbands,
Yes. Yes.
that that in between for them, that when to be that intercessor for them, for
Yeah.
for stuff they can't see
Mhm.
or don't recognize just yet. You know,
Mhm.
we have to be that for them. So yes, watch and pray, Lord Jesus.
Woo. So talk to us about how do you balance being a first lady and being a wife? How do you balance that? What is the balance between that? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So we start. What's so hard? We started in ministry as boyfriend, girlfriend. Then
Okay.
we got engaged, and then he took over a church, and we got married the next week. I did not have an opportunity to just be a wife first.
Mhm.
So for me, I've kind of balanced wife and first lady hand in hand,
Mhm.
because I didn't get that moment with him just as his wife.
Yeah.
We've gone into this thing full steam ahead, and that's all we've done. And so as we're growing in ministry, I'm learning, hey, we got to take time for us. We do it more often now. We take those moments when we need breaks.
Mhm.
We take those date nights. We take, and when I say take them, because they're not always going to have, it's not going to be a perfect time to do it. So you got to take it. You got to make it
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And so I make sure that me and my husband, we do something every week. Most nights, if we have a date night almost every night, because by the time we get the kids to sleep, listen, we turn on a movie to watch us.
Yes. Love it. I love it. It's just about that time together, even if the
Yes.
movie is watching, the two of you, because it happens with us. My husband laugh at me about it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just about being in his presence,
Yes.
even if we're not necessarily doing anything, but we're together.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I try to be more wife than first lady.
Yeah.
I try to still put that spice in it, still try to be, his boo thing, his best friend. I
Yeah.
make those moments memorable,
Yeah.
that we do stuff together. We're always together anyway. Like,
Yeah.
that's my ride or die. Like, if the wheels fall off, that's my guy. So we make sure, I try to make sure that I'm more wife than first lady.
Yeah.
Uh because I feel like first lady is church, like That's
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
Wife is who's gonna be with you to the end.
Yeah.
You know, who's gonna back you up, who's gonna support you, who's gonna pray you through some stuff, who's gonna be at home helping heal those wounds from when you out there on the field
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
getting beat up out there. Wife has to be at home holding it down and making sure that I'm being that protector of his heart and covering him and covering
Yeah.
our marriage. And because that man right now, that is the thing that is under attack, is marriages in ministry.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh my goodness, there's so many marriages. I just was talking to a lady who said that ministry literally destroyed her marriage.
Wow. Wow.
That will not, I just cannot
Mm-mm.
let that be my testimony.
Mm-mm.
That ain't even here. First of all, that's not even biblical.
No, it's not.
Because the
Something's out
order,
of order. It's not.
it's
Mm-mm.
out of order. So if
Yeah.
you, the man who can't rule his house, he's not even qualified to rule the house of God.
Yeah.
So our house has to be on a, oh God, built on a sure foundation.
Yes.
Because when that passes, here's the thing: this is the church is the bride of Christ.
Yeah.
He gonna take care of his bride.
Yeah.
But for me, as for me and my house, I'm gonna
Listen.
make sure that me and my husband are solid. You understand?
Yes. You have to. Yeah. Yeah, you have to, because what do you do if all you have is just ministry? You know, and we love ministry. We're
Yeah,
called to ministry.
yeah,
But if that's all you have, and you get home and there is nothing else, and you can't be a wife, or he can't be a husband,
yeah.
is what do you have?
Nothing.
You know, so I know for when I first started dating my husband, he was already a pastor, but I didn't know that side of him. I
Wow.
met him at a skating rink. He was
Nice.
there with his church. Most people, that are a part of our church probably have heard this already, but he was there with his church skating rink. I had a son already. I was there with my son, and I had my nieces. I was that, the rich auntie that took my nieces out. Uh, so I would pick them up on certain weekends. And this particular weekend, we went skating. It was about 6 of us. I remember it was a snowy night. And we, went skating, and long story short, we met. I found out that he was a pastor, and I said, I do not date pastors. Period. I don't date pastors. He sent somebody up to me. But anyway, we wound up exchanging numbers. Uh, because I couldn't resist. Um,
Okay.
but we wound up exchanging numbers. But I had never been to his church. I had never heard him preach. I grew up in church. My mom, we were a part of a church. I served in ministry, but I was never the type of person that I wasn't like had to be in the face of my pastor all the time. Like I never,
Yeah.
different things that I see in ministry are just different. But when we first met, I didn't know that side of him. Like
Mm.
I didn't know, the preacher side. I had never gone to his church. We were dating. We would go, to the movies or whatever. He told me he was a pastor. I never looked to see if he was on Facebook. I never, because I just, I wanted to get to know him. And
Yeah.
that's what he wanted. He
Yeah.
wanted somebody that was not in the church arena. He wanted a wife that was not a part, well, in his particular arena. He wanted somebody that loved Brandon
That's
and
good.
didn't just love his title,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
didn't want him for his title. So
That's
I
it.
didn't want him for his title because I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know any. I remember when I first came to the church, after we had been dating a while, and they was doing all this dancing, and where I come from, we didn't do all of that. But I was open to it. So it was all like a shocker to me. I'm like, what have I got myself into? But I had fell in love with the man.
That's good.
I fell in love with the man. And then eventually, I fell in love with the ministry as well, but always remembering to be his wife first.
That's it.
Be his wife first. And that's one of the things that he'll say, I need you to be my wife first.
That's right.
Be a mother, in our home first. Our home comes first. And
Right.
so I intentionally, when we get home, from church, we lay the titles down.
That's it.
You're not pastor here. Of course, you're still the head of my household. I still honor and respect you for who you are. But, I'm
Yeah.
not a first lady at home.
Yeah.
I'm Vivian. We got our nicknames, and he's Brandon. I won't say it on here, but loving the man aside from the title, knowing, when to take that hat off.
Oh
He
yes.
ministers to people at church, and I minister to him at home.
Huh? Come on.
So that's my job.
That's
And
right.
I love doing it.
Come on.
So just really, making sure that you don't get so caught up and engulfed in ministry, and even in leadership with what I do at work, not being so engulfed in, wrapped up with my work that when I come home, I still have the boss hat on. No, I'm laying that hat to the side,
That's right.
and I'm loving on my husband intentionally, because that's what they need. They need their wife at home,
At home.
that person that can see beyond the title, still love, honor, and respect that part of him, but being able to see that as well and love just Brandon.
That's it.
Yeah.
That it.
So I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was just saying that's it. I'm saying you got to be able to love them beyond that, because they're not always pastor. They're not always bishop. And being able to differentiate when it's time to be that and when it's not.
Yeah. 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 We have to. So what parts of you, in this journey, because so many things change, we evolve in life. We should be, right? That's something that we should be doing. But what parts of you did God have to change? If you could share one thing that God had to change or he had to alter as you grew into your ministry role.
My attitude, my mouth.
Yeah.
I I I had no filter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe part of that for me is, like I said, I'm a fourth generation first lady, which makes me a fourth generation pastor's kid. So church to us is funny. Growing up, we made fun of the pastor, we made fun of the people shouting, we made fun of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't take church that serious as some people do in their roles. They take their position like they getting the president's award for it. But for me, I didn't take it that serious. So my mouth, I didn't feel like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. And so my husband had to he had to rehearse and rehash this same scripture over and over again. A soft answer turns away wrath.
That's good.
He would, oh my God, he would tell me that over and over again, because I would just say whatever I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it how I wanted to say it. And growing up as a teenager, I didn't mind getting in no fights. So that for me was the hardest thing, is being able to use temperance. We don't talk about temperance anymore. Being able to control this tongue and not lash out the way I wanted to, when I was used to being able to say whatever I wanted to. Catering my words, choosing them, meditating on them before I spit them out.
Yeah.
Man, that has been the hardest thing for me, because people will say to you anything they want to, and their expectation is for you to say beautiful scriptures and holy words to them. But there's some words that I want to say that I can't. And so I thank God for giving me the grace to grow into this role.
Yeah.
Because I didn't always have the right words. I did not always say the right thing. And so I thank God that he has changed my attitude. He's given me patience. He's given me grace, and I'm able to be graceful and to speak eloquently. There
Yeah.
was there was not a time that I was able to do that, but I'm able to do that now. And people would never know that I was a whole thug.
It's funny that you say that, because that's also one of the areas that I had to grow in, was with my mouth.
Yeah.
Because I've always kind of been quick with my words and can be flip at the lip, as
Yeah.
my mother used to call it. You
Yeah.
flip at the lip. So it was definitely something that the Lord had to mature me in, and sometimes it will rise up. I see that trying to rise up. I intentionally have to kill it
Yeah. Yeah.
intentionally because I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Yeah.
going to allow it to resurrect and stay there. It might try to peek its head a little bit. But, you know, uh, the first step to deliverance is being honest.
And,
So
and
it definitely will try to peek its head, but I've come a mighty long way when it comes to the tongue and just the maturity in that area as well, because sometimes you do want to lash back out. But even as you said in the beginning, and I think it is so key, is that you have more to lose. It's
yeah.
some things are just not
Yeah.
even worth it. Some things are not even worth you responding to, not even saying, not even addressing. And I'm not saying you don't address anything, but there are just some things that doesn't even deserve your attention. And
Man.
that comes with maturity. It definitely does.
And I can't address you until I've had a moment to meditate on what to say.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Because
good.
I may not say what is appropriate if I respond too quickly.
Yeah. That's
And,
true.
and I've also learned not to respond if it's not the right time to respond.
Hmm.
Give me a moment. I will get back to you on that.
Yeah. 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 You don't owe it to give a response right in the moment if you don't feel that it would be the correct or proper response. So I agree, especially when emotions are at an all-time high. We have to take things back to the Lord in prayer, and just sometimes you got to marinate on things. I know sometimes certain things I will be on 10 mad about, and then you let it die down and let some time pass and let the Lord deal with you, and it don't even affect you the same way that it did in that moment.
Oh yeah.
So I agree with that. Yeah. And another thing that I had to learn is to love, and I've seen this with my husband through my husband. Like that man, he really possesses the agape love of God.
That's
And that's one of the things that I've seen in him. And one of the things that the Lord has allowed to mature in me is to love unconditionally.
oh yeah.
That true agape love, meaning there is nothing that you've done to cause me to love you, and there is nothing that you can do that will cause me to stop from loving you. Because and with that love, it's the God type of love. You can't love like this without the Holy Ghost. At least I don't think you can, because it's difficult, so it's loving without expectation.
Ooh, because let me tell you, expectations are what cause your suffering.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you have an expectation and it is not met, and you have an expectation of individuals, it will really hurt you really and disappoint you really bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they hold us to some level of expectation, and when we don't uh measure up to their expectation, they leave.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's so true. And sometimes it seems unfair, but guess what? Life is unfair. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is. So that's an area where the Lord had to mature me with loving unconditionally. And
Yeah.
I have, of course, as I mentioned, my husband models that so well, knowing what somebody could be saying, but still loving them, love them beyond their fault
Yeah.
to see their need. Like, you really need Jesus. You really need some help, So and sometimes people act out and lash out because of certain things that they're dealing with deep down inside, And so when you really get in prayer and you really make it up in your mind that you're going to love those people, you really feel the burden to pray for them
Yeah.
because what's in you that's causing you to, I was just talking to, my charge nurse about this at work. Um, it was a disgruntled physician that came by, and just the way that they respond to people and make them feel like they're less than. And and I told her, I said, there is something really going on in their life that's causing them to respond this way.
Oh
It's
yeah.
something they're unhappy about. It's something that we don't know. It's deeper than the surface, it's deeper than what we see. So, with me knowing that, my responsibility now, because I have the unconditional love of Jesus Christ, is to pray for you.
Yeah.
It's the and it's hard because I didn't do it to you, but you still treat me like I did it to you. But that's just a byproduct of what they're really dealing with. But as true Christians, as true leaders, we have to be able to see beyond the surface. And
Yeah.
even as I said, not wear our feelings on our sleeve and not take things so personal, and knowing, that it's deeper than us. It
Mhm.
really
Oh
is,
yeah.
you know. But that
And then you
unconditional
gotta
love,
use, you
we do.
have to use discernment.
Yeah, you do. You do. Did we lose her? Yeah, we definitely have to use discernment when it comes to that, because we don't know what people might be facing. We don't know what they might be dealing with, what it took for them to get out of the bed and to come to church. So they may not have spoken to you that day. They may have given you, a look. And I'm not saying that to make it okay. It doesn't make it okay, but it does cause you to have a little bit more grace on them. It will cause you to have a little bit more grace and to be more intentional with showing that unconditional love. Lady, I think you were saying something before your phone had cut out.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there.
No, you.
I done lost my train of thought there.
That's all right. That's all right. We can move on. But yeah, those are a couple of the lessons and the things that I've learned. And it's good to hear that even the things that you've learned that you had to change in you resonates with me as well. But how do you in this role, how do you find a safe space as a leader in ministry, as a first lady, and how necessary are those safe spaces to you?
So very important to have your tribe, the ones
Yeah,
that you know that you can run to and be bandaged up when you're hurt, the ones that you can go to and be a sounding board. It's so very important to have those people because you need them.
yeah,
As much as you think you can handle it all on your own, it's so very important to have people that you can lean on, to have people that you can confide in, that you can dump on, because people dump on us all the time, and we carry so much. We carry our church, we carry our husbands, we carry our businesses, we carry the roles that we play in different arenas. We carry so very much.
yeah.
We carry, listen, we were created to carry because we have a womb. And so everything we take on so much, and we think because or most people think that just because we carry it well that it's not heavy. And so
Yeah.
you need somebody to be able to lean on sometimes, that can listen. I just need somebody to listen to me, get this off my chest. I don't even really need you to really say much. Sometimes I just need to be able to just get this off because I don't really have nowhere to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
you
so,
don't want to carry it.
and you don't want to carry it, because then carrying it begins to become that burden that we bleed on people,
Listen.
that we
Yeah.
that we bleed while we lead.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
try to heal in the process of trying
Yeah.
to help people. So it's so very important to have people that you can go to, that you can trust. Because, man, listen, some people, just because of the anointing that you carry, people are going to be attracted to you.
Mhm.
People, it attracts, it attracts evil, it attracts good, it attracts everything. There's
Yeah.
you can't stop what the anointing attracts, but you do need to understand how to discern who's here to help and not to harm.
Yeah.
And so you gotta, in those moments, you gotta let down those walls too, because sometimes
Mhm.
we build up walls because we have been hurt, and so we are so guarded that we don't allow people in. And so you gotta get to the place where you're healed enough to be able to receive the help,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not view everybody as
Yeah.
correct. Some people
Yeah.
really, some people really do want to help you. Some people really do have good intentions at heart.
Yeah.
But that's where getting down in prayer and discerning, why are you here?
Yeah.
Who sent you?
That's good. I'm a firm believer of that as well. Just knowing those that labor among you.
Yeah.
And even when you know it, it's not always for you to say, but just knowing, I know. Even as I said, watch as well as pray, but knowing those that labor among you, and even as you said, knowing who sent them, what is their assignment in
Yeah.
your life, and then also recognizing, even as you said, those that the Lord did send to help, those with a genuine heart and those that don't. I see it in the comment section, that don't have an ulterior motive, you
I
know,
agree with that.
just
Yeah.
being able to decipher, between the two. And even those that do, my prayer is not even damnation for those. My prayer is that even if you came in with the wrong motive, my
Yeah.
prayer is that the Lord will change it, that He will change you, so that you no longer have that motive, because at the end of the day they still need the Lord, they still need someone, but also recognizing and being able to discern who you have around you, because you have to know that it's time out for just having a circle and a crowd around you just for the sake of having people, just for the sake of quantity, and there is no quality there, and you don't even know who sent them. You don't even know their assignment. You don't even know why they're in your life.
Yeah.
You haven't even taken the time to take a step back and take inventory and
Yeah.
ask yourself the question,
Yeah.
and pray to God and ask God the question, and ask them.
Yeah.
They'll tell you. Sometimes they'll tell you,
All you gotta do is
but
listen.
also, yeah. But I'm glad you said that, because you can become so hurt sometimes where you become bitter and you have walls up, and the
Yeah.
people that were sent to bless you, you're pushing them away. So
Absolutely.
you got to know the difference, and so that you don't push your next blessing away, so
Oh
that
yeah.
you don't push, the person away that the Lord is sending, to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you, and we're getting ready to be done with this, but how do you maintain your identity while seeking and fulfilling what you've been chosen to do? And is there a difference with the two?
Like I said, I have to be authentically me.
Yeah.
And what makes me me is doing the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I am passionate about beauty and fashion and cooking and eating and having a good time. So those are the things that I continue to do
Yeah.
so that I don't get so consumed and overwhelmed by purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because purpose is what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You were created for it. You're going to
Yeah.
do that until your last breath. If you're still here, you have a purpose. And so you're going to fulfill that purpose because of the promise that God has on your life. So you're going to fulfill that regardless of what you want to do because you have been chosen. So you're going to do it, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
that thing can become so cumbersome. It can become so burdensome that you become engulfed in it, that you lose sight of who you are as an individual. Some people are only happy because they're happy about the position they're in. But when you strip yourself of that, who are you aside from your title, aside from first lady, aside from
Yeah.
CEO, boss, and manager? Who are you
Yeah.
when you're by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you in those quiet moments? And
Yeah.
in those quiet moments, I'm a worshiper. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being in serene and in peace and tranquility. I love all of that. You know what I mean? I love being in comfort and I just put on my post the other day, like I like house shoes and house coats. And
Yeah.
if I could come to church like that, I promise I would.
My kids talk about me now, and now they do the very same thing. As soon as I hit the door,
It's all
these
out.
clothes are coming off. Give me my robe, give me my comfortable socks. And
Yes.
now my mother she was talking about Benji. She said, because she picks him up from school for us most of the time. And she said, as soon as he get in the house, he in his drawers and his t-shirt. I make him go put on some pajama pants. He gets so comfortable. But that's what I do. And that's what I love. Like, because you out, and you put your clothes on, you put your makeup on, and it's like
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be me, and even as you said, authentically me.
Yeah.
Um,
I can't be
so
any
yeah,
I can't be anybody else. I
yeah,
can't. I won't be able to keep that up. I
mm,
can't I can't be Lady V because
yeah.
I ain't got that kind of budget. You know what I mean? I can't be Lady V. I can't
But,
be nobody but me. You understand?
listen, I
I,
love it. It's so true, though.
so
It's
I
so true.
I keep doing the things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah,
I
you
I
have to.
I keep doing the things that make me me. And that's all I can do
Yeah. And
because of
that's what keeps us going.
yeah,
That's one of the things that keeps us going is doing those things that we love to do, those things that are happy place,
yeah.
outside of the titles, outside of, the roles, but
Mhm.
being able to tap into that and do that and don't deprive ourselves, of those things.
Oh
So yeah, it's so true. I agree wholeheartedly.
yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. But as we get done with this topic on tonight, I want to end it this way because we have, several people watching and several people that will listen and that are listening now from different walks of life.
Yeah.
You have some first ladies on, you have leaders, in ministry, in marketplace, and even servants that will be leaders one day. And even just, serving in the church in whatever capacity still have to deal with this. Just being a human being, being a Christian, having to deal with the things that we talked about. Nobody is exempt. Sometimes it may be on a greater level, but on whatever level that you're having to deal with what comes along with being chosen, I want you to just take a moment to encourage that person. Maybe they're discouraged and maybe they want to give up and they feel like the load is too heavy. What would you say to that person?
Man, listen. Every leader in the Bible, if you name them, Moses, he had a Red Sea. Noah, he had a flood. Uh, David, he had Goliath. Daniel, he had a lion's den. Anybody that God chose, anybody, they had something to conquer, they had something to carry, they had something to overcome, and they had stuff that crushed them. But here's the thing. Even in all of that, God was still with them, and they were able to conquer it all. So it doesn't matter what you feel like you're facing. It doesn't matter whether, loneliness, depression, because all of it comes, suffering, all of it comes. The scripture says that after you've suffered just a little while. So even to be in this position, the prerequisite to even be called is that you've got to suffer. There's something, it's going to cost you something to be in this position. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't not come free. It's not a free ride. There's going to be some preparation in order to get to the promise, but there's a process that you have to go through. In all of that, it's going to be worth it. You're going to make it. God has graced you for it. If he did not think you could handle it, he would not have called you. He wouldn't have given it to you if he didn't trust you. How about that? He wouldn't even have given it to you if he didn't trust you with it. The people that he has entrusted into your care, be good to them.
Yeah.
Because those are seeds that you are sowing. You are sowing seeds that will come back to you. People can never give back to you what you give to them. So never have that expectation of people.
Yeah.
Give from a genuine place. I say, show up authentically as yourself.
Yeah.
Represent God in a manner that people cannot deny that there is a God when they see you. Because they come into contact with you, they know that there has to be a God because of the power of your presence.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, that's the thing about being a first lady. You have such a power in your presence. In leadership, you understand that when you show up, there's so much power attained.
Yeah.
People gain strength from your presence. And the person that you present to people, be that person all the time, because who you present will be people's expectation.
Yeah.
And it will continue to be their expectation. So that's why I say, continue to show up authentically. You be humble, because God can use anybody, and it don't have to be you.
That's so good. That is so good. You have said a mouthful. I mean, and because it is so true. You said it's going to cost you something. And what I keep hearing, even as you said that, it's because that's so true. It's gonna cost you something.
Mm-hmm.
And are you willing to pay the price?
Ooh.
Are you willing
Yeah.
to pay the price
Yeah.
that comes along with being chosen? Because listen, and our bishop is teaching on this. I see one of our members in the comments say it's gonna cost you everything.
Man.
It's going to cost you everything.
Yeah.
I tell you, there was one I had got in my feelings. It was so much going on. I'm like, I just need some time for myself. And the Lord had to remind me, your life is not your own.
Man, what?
Your life is not your own.
You don't get a choice.
You don't get to decide like that. Your life is not, I called you, I chose you.
Yes.
And now I'm requiring everything.
Yeah.
And the scripture is so true that those that suffer with him will reign with him.
Yes, Lord.
So, but we have to be willing to pay the price. You know, we want the reward, but we don't want to pay the price.
And we
We
want to
want
crown
what comes
without a
after
cross.
it. We want the crown, listen, without the cross.
Yes.
So we have to be willing to pay the price. And then knowing that paying the price, you know, that comes along with being, God is going to take care of you.
Yes.
He sees your sacrifice.
Yeah.
He sees all that you're giving. He sees all that you're going through. He sees everything. Even though while you're going through it, you may feel like he doesn't, but he sees everything.
Oh,
He
yeah.
sees everything. And you must be willing to pay the price.
Yeah.
You must be willing to carry the cross in order to wear the crown.
Yeah.
And so thank you. Thank you so much, lady. Were you about to share something else?
No, I don't have anything else because I don't want to get preachy, okay? Because
listen, you are fine. You have been amazing tonight. Thank you so much, you know, for joining us. Thank you for your wisdom, your knowledge. Thank you so much for your yes. Thank you for your yes. I appreciate you being a guest on the All That I Am podcast tonight. I look forward to future fellowship. Thank you so much to our audience that is on. Thank you for your sacrifice. I pray that you were blessed. I pray that something that resonates in your life that will help you to become better and not bitter. Because that's what it's all about. The lessons that come in our life, are they going to make you better? Or will they make you bitter? Amen. You've been chosen and you've been graced to carry all that God has entrusted to you. You've been graced to lead. You've been graced to lead, and you can do it. I'm praying for you. The Lord will strengthen you. And until next time, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We won't see you all until next year. Happy New Year. And we will see you soon. Remember, grace is your secret sauce.